myself, and I had so much time to sit down and think about myself, and then there she was, like double cherry pie. Yeah, there she was.
Go.
I smell sex and
I mean, we all got busy, right? And yeah, it just ended up we started playing with him.
I met Shlomi in Israel. My wife's from Israel, and so I was going to some of Shlomi's shows over there, and I thought, man, if he comes to the States, he's got to play in our band. So he came about.
I kind of took it seriously.
After a while, you know, it's really so much easier to get work done because we all have like Blackberries, iPhones, and things like that.
That's true.
And it's like,
I never thought about that. We didn't have
10
that
years
stuff
later,
back then.
it's like we had no idea what was going on outside of our little bubble, you know?
Yeah,
And
you had to wait till a spot where you could pull off the road and like get on a phone to call management and stuff like that, like a payphone.
Really?
Or whatever.
Yeah, so,
Like cell phones were even kind of new.
I got a cell phone
Yeah.
when we were on tour, like back in the day when Sex
we were out with like
and Candy was
Everclear, I
And I was
think,
like,
at that point.
yeah, because
But
we
other
saw
than-
Art Alexakis on his phone all the time.
We're like, we need one of those.
I know. I think we need
The
one
big
of those
brick.
cell phones. Anyway, so we often didn't know what was going on. In fact, we didn't have. We would hear from our manager that Sex and Candy was doing really well, but we didn't really hear it. You know, we were on the bus just traveling, and we were listening to our own music. So we would show up in some random town in the middle of the States, and everyone's singing along to that song. And we were like, oh, they must be playing that a lot here.
From what I can gather here, this album began as a solo project.
Yeah.
What made you want to make it a new Marcy Playground record?
Dylan was available. That was one of the
Fair
things.
enough, yeah.
And he wanted to do it. And that's the thing. When Dylan and I get together, it's Marcy Playground because we've always been a trio. We started the band together, and it's just been different various drummers that we've played with and over the years. But whenever Dylan and I do it, it's play music together. It's automatically Marcy.
We've always stayed close. We never broke up or anything. We were just doing other things, and he started sending me some of this music, and I was just totally knocked out by it.
You were?
Yeah, I really felt like this, the music that was going to become this album was like really moving and just from the heart. And it didn't really have. It was kind of significant in the beginning that it was going to be a solo record because I don't think it didn't sound like he was trying to make something that was going to necessarily come out. It was just like he had to get this music out of him, specifically during a really difficult time.
That's actually true. When I did this record, this is the first time this has happened. But this I didn't record this record with the sole intent of actually putting it out, which is different. I just recorded it and wrote the songs and recorded it because if I didn't, I was going to kill myself. I mean, I was really in a bad place.
Really?
Well, I wasn't going to last if I didn't do something that was creative and productive and turn my life into, around at that point because I was in a really bad space. And so it was a creative, positive outlet for my energies, and so consequently, it's not like the other records where it's like all fun rock, blah 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 blah. There's some kind of dark moments on the album, and that is not something I would normally have done if I was thinking, okay, we need to make a Marcy record. It's a totally different approach.
Actually, well, I wanted to ask you about Blackbird. You say thank you. What are you thinking?
My wife, Rain. That's her name. You just have to do something to bring yourself out of your funk, right? And
Yeah.
something positive. And the song "Good Times." That song is strictly about just trying to reassure myself that everything's gonna be all right, and that later on in life, when I look back on everything, and this stupid insecurities and weird things that are happening to me at the time, and I'll look back on those. I won't even think about those times. I'm going to think about all the positive stuff that happened in my life. And, writing that song alone, just that one song, helped raise my mood and bring me out of the, severe depression I was in at the time.
Really?
So, yeah.
Leaving Wonderland in a fit of rage. What was Wonderland, and why are you so angry about leaving?
It's not entirely fair to try and put a literal interpretation on it.
Right.
Because,
Yeah.
There's it has multiple meanings. One is leaving innocence and childhood behind, and stepping into adulthood with your fists clenched.
Yeah.
Growing up and putting all those childish things behind you. That's one interpretation.
I don't know if this is your words. It might be some promoters' words, but it was also described as a spiritual quest.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, coming out of coming out of it was definitely a spiritual quest. I delved into a whole lot of stuff from my childhood and that had been holding me back. Some childhood, like, I mean, this is, I don't need to get into this or anything.
No,
it's
yeah,
kind of
no.
But, just nothing like crazy or anything. Just, I was in a, really severe car accident when I was about 6 years old. I was hit by a car and I was almost killed, and it threw shit in my brain out of whack a bit. I had severe head trauma and stuff, and just the experience of recovering from that, I really had blocked a lot of that out. It was really traumatic. As a little kid, I dealt with a lot of just shit I'd never really looked at before in my life, and
Leaving Wonderland, maybe.
yeah, absolutely. A lot of that stuff, it's it fits for a lot of different things, but it became a spiritual quest. When you go through a period like I went through, and you do come out on the other side, you have tools at your disposal to be able to deal with adversity again when it comes along, and those same sorts of insecure feelings or whatever is happening, self-esteem issues. I mean, a lot of depression just comes strictly from self-esteem issues, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things I did was sort of start to deal with the distortions of the world that I had. I had a really kind of distorted view of
Probably scary.
myself and the world. And, yeah, it was very scary. Right?
Yeah.
And when you can deal with those one time, you can deal with them again, right? So there is no finish to the quest. It's just a matter of being able to pick up and keep moving on.